May 4th, a holiday probably invented by Lucasfilm to sell toys. I'm not 100% sure on who invented this holiday, but anyways, LEGO has had quite the history with it, starting back in 2009 with this very simple poster, and they didn't really know what they were doing with promos as much back then as they do now. But yes, this is a very simple but yet good promo, and yeah, they also accidentally put the 2007 UCS Falcon on sale for 75% off instead of 25. So that was a very bad mistake on LEGO's end, but you know, pretty good for us in 2009 if I was born yet. Now to get this poster, you could have bought literally anything, like, you know, a polybag, a UCS set, literally anything, you would have got this promo. So I think that's pretty cool, but I can understand why they got rid of this system. But yeah, if you look at the poster, you can see it just has a bunch of LEGO Star Wars minifigures to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the theme, which, you know, that's a very cool thing that LEGO did back then. But going on to 2010, this year we got this sticker sheet and a little poster of White Boba Fett. Now, it is theorized between some fans that we were actually supposed to get the White Boba Fett polybag that year as the promo, but LEGO couldn't do it for some reason, so they just did this sticker sheet and the poster. So, again, just another poster, a pretty simple thing that LEGO did. One of the best years for May 4th, if you're a minifigure May 4th promo person, the Shadow ARF Trooper. This is our first real promo, and yeah, this is just a great niche minifigure that LEGO just kind of made up. And yeah, this is a really cool idea that LEGO did, taking a pre-existing minifigure and making it different, and you know, even though it was never appeared on the Clone Wars or anything, it is still a great figure. And this was our first May 4th minifigure. 2012 was another great year for the May 4th promos, being the chromed out TC14. Pretty sure I said that right, but yes, this is a great promo that LEGO did. And yeah, this is just a great promo. You know, a figure that we'd probably never see in a set, especially with all the chromed parts. And I'm very glad that LEGO made it, even though I'm probably never going to own it because of how expensive it is. But yes, this is still a great promo. 2013, not that great year for promos. For Star Wars wise at least. I don't really know any of the other themes promos. But yes, they really just took a figure that you could get in a lot of other wide release sets and just put it as the promo. Now, it could not been released in a wide scale set at the time, but by 2016 it already had appeared in a few sets. 2014. What a great year for LEGO Star Wars, and especially for the promos, because we got a Darth Revan minifigure, and I own an off-brand Darth Revan, so that has to count to something. But yeah, a great figure all around, and one of the best Sith in Star Wars, being Revan. And this is a great promo because where else would we have gotten a Revan minifigure? I know there's probably going to be some Old Republic fans saying we could have got this set or we could have got that set, but be realistic. LEGO's not making any more Old Republic sets for a long time. 2015, the last great minifigure polybag year. And this year we got an old Admiral Yularen. And yeah, a pretty simple minifigure based off of a pretty simple design. But yeah, this is just a great figure based off Star Wars Rebels. Even if you weren't a Star Wars Rebel fan at the time, you could still get this because it was in A New Hope. But, I mean, you know, this is just such a great promo, and, you know, they really knew what they were doing back then. 2016, at the beginning of the end. This year we got the First Order Stormtrooper polybag, which was in a $10 battle pack at the time, $15 battle pack actually. But, so what is the point of getting this? Now, we do know that Disney was making them do a promo based off The Force Awakens that year because, you know, the new stuff, trying to advertise it or whatever. But still, it's frankly just kind of sad what they did, and I feel like there could have been a lot better options, which we will go through now. 2017. This is our first non-minifigure year if you don't count those posters. And man, this is not a good polybag build, especially for a promo. And I know that if I was really into collecting at the time, I definitely would have passed up on this one, being the R2-D2 polybag build. Like, I see what they were going for, but just not really a big fan of it. And it could have been a lot better. 2017. Another year of the buildable droid being the BB-8. And, you know, definitely one of the polybag builds of all time. I would say it's a little bit better than the R2, just a little bit. But, yeah, I feel like a lot of Star Wars fans are going to hold resentment against these two just because they kind of ruined the May 4th tradition. But, again, you know, it's been 7 or so years, not much we can really do about it now. But, yeah, still an alright build and not really that good of a May 4th promo. In 2019, we got the Hoth Assault promo, which, yeah, this is a much better promo and is actually a decent build. But again, this would have been much better as a different type of set, maybe like released on May 4th, but you could buy it. But I just don't think it's promo worthy. But yes, this is, you know, an alright promo, but compared to the other ones that we've gone through from 2011, 2015, and upcoming, this is not that great of a promo. 2020, we got the Death Star 2 battle scene, and I am not really that big of a fan of this one. Just, I don't really like the way the A-Wing or the TIE Interceptor looks, and the Death Star terrain could be looking a lot better. But this was, of course, 2020, whenever the UCS A-Wing released. This is whenever I start to know when the UCS sets were released alongside stuff, so just so you know that. But, yeah, this is one of the promos of all time, and it'll definitely go down as such. In 2021, we got the Tatooine, Lars, Homestead, whatever you want to call it, little micro diorama. And this one is a pretty interesting one. It does have some good terrain builds, but again, would have rather got a minifigure or something like that year, so yeah, an alright build, but figures would have been better. In 2021, they also started giving away polybags with a threshold of $30 to $40, and I'd say this is a pretty simple thing, starting with the Imperial Shuttle. 2022, we're finally starting to come back to the good May 4th promos. But yes, our first good promo in would have been, I don't know how many years, but is the Lars Homestead Kitchen, which came with one figure being Anne Peru, which we had never seen before, and it is just a pretty simple kitchen build. That's the thing, if LEGO released this as a normal set, it never would have sold, but releasing it as a promo makes it a lot more interesting and enticing to people, making them want to buy it. And yeah, so that's a great thing that LEGO did, and I'm very happy they released this, even though I do not personally own it, but I would like to own it someday. In 2022, we got the AT-ST, got that right, as the polybag promo for a certain amount of money, which is pretty cool. And I didn't get it, but I already own the polybag, so, you know, what's the point? 2023, the first May 4th I ever participated in, even though I never got sent the promo, had to order it a couple months later. I did a video about that a long time ago, but I'm probably going to redo it sometime soon. But yeah, this is a great little micro build. Again, if LEGO sold this separately, it probably would have sold better than the Lars Homestead. But still, just looking at it on my display right now, it is a great build. and very happy to own it, even though I wasn't originally sent it. But yeah, definitely a great little promo to have in my collection. 2023, we got two secondary promos, starting out with the X-Wing polybag. This coin, it's a coin with LEGO Star Wars on it. 2024, for the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace, they released the droid carrier, which isn't supposed to be the most accurate droid carrier. It's supposed to be a redo of the 2001 droid carrier. But yes, this is a great promo build, and a lot of people wanted it released as its own build instead of a promo, which I could definitely understand, to build the battle droid army. But personally, I have enough battle droids, so, you know, I'm kind of indifferent to this. But I can understand why many people wanted this to be released as a normal set and not as a promo. But again, still definitely happy to own it. And it does include an exclusive battle droid for now, but with the MTT rumor to come out this summer, I would stay skeptical on this figure staying exclusive. In 2024, we got the X-Wing, not X-Wing, AAT polybag. I always get them mixed up. But anyways, for a minimum of $40, and then for a minimum of $90, you could get this sliding coin. It's a sliding coin. You can slide it. 2025 is the year I'm currently recording in, and you're most likely watching it. But yes, this is a the Clone Camino training area. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but yeah, this is a great build. You'll get 3 awesome minifigures with dual molded legs and arm printing. I can't do it for a $300 set though. But yeah, this is a good build. You get the clone turret, some barricades, some things to hold the blasters, and the Camino Enforcer ship. And yeah, this is a great promo that even if they had released it on its own, I'm sure it would have sold okay. But, you know, like, I could see a lot of Star Wars, like, big Clone Wars fans, or just, you know, big collectors saying, oh, they should release this like an army build. But then again, think about it from a casual perspective. Like, they're only going to get one, maybe, if this is wide released. And, you know, it's really just going to take up room on the shelf. But, yes, this is a great promo. And I am very looking forward to having it. Hopefully, I won't get scammed by LEGO again. But, yeah, this is a great promo. And in 2025, they're also giving away the Millennium Falcon polybag with a minimum of $40 spent. Also, if you buy the UCS Jango Fett Slave 1, you can get the keychain with a coin of the UCS Jango Fett Slave 1 on it. So, yay. And this has been the history of LEGO Star Wars May 4th, as far as I know. And there could have been something I missed over time, but, you know, hopefully I got everything that I needed to. And be sure to tell me your thoughts on these promos in the comment section down below. And, you know, if you're new around here, please consider subscribing to help out the channel, to help me reach 2K.